Hello my dear students. By the end of this video you will be able to know all the separation techniques for heterogeneous mixture only. So in this video we will revise together all the separation techniques that we took it for heterogeneous mixture only. So you will see decantation by beakers, decantation by separating funnel, you will see also filtration and centrifuging manually and electrical.
Is called the sediment. Jack separated the upper layer of water from the mixture by gently pouring the clear water into another beaker without disturbing the sediment. This process of separation of a liquid from the sediment is called decantation. Similarly, there are other separation methods too. Let us discover them in this module.
I like to tell my students to crank it like your grandmother would.
You can separate components of a solution such as plasma and red blood cells from a sample of blood. In a lab, tubes of blood are loaded into a centrifuge in pairs. Samples are loaded in opposite positions to help balance the centrifuge. The spinning forces the heavier components, such as red blood cells, to separate from the plasma solution and collect at the bottom of the tube.
Children, after preparing tea, this tea stall owner pours the mixture into the tea strainer. The tea passes through the holes of tea strainer, leaving behind the tea leaves in it. This process of separation is known as filtration. Filtration, however, cannot remove the solid substances dissolved in a liquid. Sometimes fine particles of the solid component pass through the strainer that is used as the medium for filtration. In such a situation, filter paper is used. A filter paper is a special paper which has millions of tiny holes in it. While the liquid can pass through these holes, the solid particles remain on the filter paper. The liquid which passes through the filter paper is called the filtrate. The solid particles that are left behind the filter paper are called the residue.
Separating funnel. A separating funnel is a special type of funnel which has a stop clock or tap in its stem to allow the flow of a liquid from it or to stop the flow of liquid from it. It is used for the separation of components of a mixture between two immiscible liquid phases. One phase is the aqueous phase and the other phase is the organic solvent. This separation is based on the differences in the densities of the liquids. The liquid having more density forms the lower layer and the liquid having less density forms the upper layer. Example, separation of oil and water. Separating a mixture of kerosene oil and water. The following material are required to do the experiment. Retort stand, 2 beakers, clamp, separating funnel, mustard oil and water. Pour mustard oil and water in the separating funnel. Mix both liquids by shaking the separating funnel vigorously. Use a clamp to attach the separating funnel to a retort stand. Ensure that the separating funnel is in the closed position. Allow the mixture to settle for a few minutes. We observe that the two layers as an upper layer of mustard oil having the lower density and the lower layer of water having the higher density. Place a beaker under the mouth of the separating funnel and open the stop clock. Allow the lower layer of water to run off in the beaker slowly. Finally, you will observe that the lower layer of water comes out first and the upper layer of mustard oil collected in a beaker.
Now we can say that we are able to separate any heterogeneous mixture by using one of these separation techniques. So هذه table is very important تختصر كل شيء أخذناه. separation techniques هيدول برجع بأكد بس للheterogeneous، يعني من الميكتشر اللي عنده 2 layers وأكتر. للhomogeneous هيدول ما بينفعوا أبدا. So we took the sorting by hands اللي هي مسؤولة بس for solid liquid، اللي أنا بقدر يكون عندي mixture بستعمل إيدي مثلا لحتى أقيم البحث عن الwater. Sorting by magnets for example as we made in the class by using the magnet to separate the iron fillings from the water. Decantation by beakers, centrifuging, filtration, and finally decantation by separating funnel. And here we have two types of decantation as you see. في عندي decantation اللي هي by beaker وهي منا كتير فعالة، it's not very efficient، بينما decantation by separating funnel it's very precious and efficient وكتير فعالة. والطريقة الوحيدة اللي أنا بستعملها لفرق liquid هي decantation by separating funnel، هي الوحيدة، والباقي كلياته بيفرق لي solid liquid heterogeneous mixture.